Ever wondered what would happen if Willy Wonka met Silicon Valley? Well, buckle up, candy lovers, because today we're diving into something sweeter than your wildest dreams. A modern candy mega factory that churns out millions of treats faster than you can say, sugar rush. You might think making candy is as simple as mixing sugar and flavor, right? That's what I thought too, until I discovered these factories are more like NASA control centers than traditional kitchens. But here's the million-dollar question. How do they make every single piece of candy taste exactly the same? And why doesn't all this automation take away the magic we associate with candy making? Let's start with something mind-blowing. Every day, this factory processes enough sugar to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool. But don't worry. Unlike what some people believe, these mega factories aren't just soulless robot workshops. They're more like candy laboratories where science meets sweetness. Have you ever tried making candy at home? Then you know getting the temperature wrong by just a few degrees can turn your sweet treat into a rock-hard disaster. Now imagine doing this millions of times a day. Scary, right? But here's where the magic of modern technology comes in. In the ingredient preparation area, super precise machines measure ingredients down to the smallest gram. It's like having thousands of master chefs working simultaneously. Except these chefs never get tired and never make mistakes. Speaking of precision, let's talk about the cooking process. Remember those old school candy thermometers? Well, these factories use laser temperature sensors that make those look like Stone Age tools. The candy mixture flows through what looks like a maze of stainless steel pipes, each controlled by computers that monitor everything from temperature to viscosity. Here's a fun fact that'll blow your mind. If all these pipes were laid end to end, they'd stretch longer than 10 football fields. But here's where it gets really interesting. The molding and shaping stage. Imagine the world's most elaborate 3D printer, but instead of plastic, it's working with hot, liquid candy. These machines can create thousands of perfectly shaped candies every minute. And get this, some of them can even make candies with multiple layers and filling simultaneously. Have you ever wondered how they get those tiny details on your favorite candy? Or how they make sure every single gummy bear looks exactly like its brothers and sisters? Now, let's talk about the coolest part, pun intended, the cooling chambers. These aren't your ordinary freezers. They're more like candy spas where each treat gets the perfect amount of cooling time. Too fast and the candy cracks. Too slow and production backs up. The temperature control is so precise that it varies by less than half a degree. Can you imagine keeping your room temperature that steady? Finally, we reach the packaging area, and let me tell you, it's like watching a sugar-coated Formula 1 pit crew in action. These machines wrap up to 2,000 pieces of candy per minute. That's faster than you can unwrap them, but here's a question that keeps me up at night. How do they make sure not a single unwrapped candy sneaks through? What makes this whole process even more impressive is the quality control. Remember those spy movies where laser beams detect intruders? Well, these factories use similar technology to spot any candy that doesn't meet their strict standards. It's like having thousands of eagle-eyed candy inspectors working 24/7, except these ones never get sugar crashes. And here's something that might surprise you. Despite all this automation, there are still human candy experts involved at every stage. They're like candy scientists, constantly testing and tweaking recipes to make sure every piece is perfect. After all, who better to judge if a candy tastes right than an actual person? Though I have to admit, being a professional candy taster sounds like a pretty sweet gig. So next time you unwrap your favorite candy, remember, you're not just holding a simple sweet treat, you're holding a tiny miracle of modern engineering created through a perfect blend of cutting-edge technology and good old-fashioned candy-making wisdom. And isn't that just the cherry on top of an already sweet story?